Here we go. Hello. What the heck is up, Facebook? It has been a hot minute, I feel like, since we've been on here, and we didn't even announce that we were doing this or anything. We're just gonna freeball it. And whenever we show up on these just to chat, it's literally just to chat and give you guys an update. And of course, if you're ever watching this live, and you have questions or comments or you want to engage in the conversation with us, do it. We're totally here for that. We love hearing from you guys. And if you are watching this live, hit that like button. If you're watching this later on, hit that like button. If you're watching it later, put replay in the comments, whatever. You know that we just love to see what's going on with you guys. And of course, we're always here to support and educate and do all that fun stuff. So, hey, what's up, you guys? Crystal here from her office. I've had quite the morning. And Coach Liz, what's going on? Recently when I've seen you, you haven't had a background in your office. So do you have any updates for us that you're able to share, wanting to share? You totally don't have to.
So far, not moving as.
I'm excited you're not moving to Vegas, potentially, and that you get to have the comfort of your office, because I know you love that space, how you've curated it for yourself.
Pretty much. So, and that was I spend so much time in my office every single freaking day, not just for work, but also school and this is my little space. And so I freaking shelves and I'm not going to hang anything on the walls just in case.
Just in case.
Because I'm still waiting. I'm in limbo between schools. I'm waiting for and UNR to approve me for their nutrition program again.
Yeah.
I have to apply for all of these.
Yeah.
And they only allow in a certain amount of people. And I got into UNLV's, which is the one that I really, really wanted. UNR, not so much. But I live in a different town, 8 or 9 hours away from my husband. So
yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Liz's husband is in the military. There were some crazy things going on with them, moving with the military, moving them for her husband's job to Vegas from Reno. And then all of a sudden they're actually, no, we're not going to do that. After Liz had gone through all of the work of setting up her schooling in a new town, obviously getting some really great opportunities in Vegas that are not something she can do in Reno. And so it's just been a little chaotic. So I just want to let you guys know, hey, our lives don't run smoothly either. We have to pivot and do things that we don't want to do. And we have to course correct and we have to find solutions. And this has very much probably been a test for Coach Liz, I would say, because it's really a test of controlling the controllables. There's so much that is outside of her control. But the really cool thing I want everybody, especially those of you who are in our client community, to know is that anytime we would chat or meet or whatever, I'm well, how are you doing with work? How can I support you? She's I'm loving work. If the rest of my life were as amazing as work right now and all my awesome clients and stuff, then I would be happy. But work was the one thing she could have control over in her life, it felt because we just truly do have an amazing team of clients that she gets to support, and it makes her feel like she's truly living out her purpose. So regardless, you've been crushing it.
Oh yeah. And I think that what I've been going through is such an excuse and out for most people to be oh yeah, send it, F it, life is chaotic. And old Liz would have done that. If you would have known me 4 or 5 years ago, that would have been something that I would have fallen back on. But one, having the community that we have and seeing all of the ladies that I do coach, having you around, being no, I want to show up for not only that, myself, but also them, and show them yo, this is hard. I'm not saying that any aspect of this, getting up and showing up and giving 110% for every single one of my check-ins isn't easy right now. I do it because one, I love it. Two, it inspires me, and I love reading their check-ins. Wins have been flying out the ears these last few weeks. I freaking love it. But I could have used it as an excuse, and I haven't. And it's just been something that I've been able to dig my heels in and just be okay, cool. This is just what I'm going to do. And it's okay that it is chaotic, because I can't change anything in my situation in the next 5 minutes.
I love that. I think that's huge. And I really resonate with that as well. a big part of why I choose to show up every day is for the community that we've created, for the community that follows us, whether or not there are one-on-one clients or whatever, right? Because people ask all the time, how do you stay motivated? And you guys hear me say this time and time again, I'm not. I am the exact opposite of motivated. I don't have like a wedding that I'm working to look good for. I don't have a beach vacation that I'm excited to look good for, like try to fit into a bikini a certain way. Because guess what? And this is definitely like first world problems or something, but like I go on vacations all the effing time. And like nobody cares what I look like in a bathing suit. I was on vacation in January, in February. I was in a bathing suit for a work trip in April. I was in a bathing suit for a work trip in May. I'll be on a cruise in August. I'm going to the beach again in September. And this is not to be braggadocious or anything. It is literally just the nature of my life. Nobody gives a shit what I look like in a bathing suit. So I'm not like motivated by that. Whereas a lot of people are like, oh my God, I have this beach trip coming up. Like I have to drop 20 pounds. And it's like, do you? Like, because at the end of the day, what does that matter 50 years from now? I literally don't care if you lose 20 pounds this month, if you can't figure out how to keep those 20 pounds off for years to come, if that's something that you need to do for your health and your fitness and whatnot. But yeah, I ain't motivated at all right now. I'm just doing the things to show up because that's the expectation this community has of me. And that's the standard I have set for myself. And I refuse to do anything less.
I love that. I have quite a few people like going on vacations and traveling a lot lately and wanting to be like, hey, I know we're in maintenance, but can I do like a quick cut? I'm like, well, why? Well, I want to look really good. Okay, well, why? What is your why behind that? And like, well, I don't want other people like talking about me or like saying like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, one, nobody gives a flying F. Two, nobody's talking about us. Absolutely not. Like it is literally just internally us, and it's so crazy. And I'm like, and it's not a bad thing that like our friends and our family isn't talking about us. They don't care really at all. They are so self-absorbed. All of us are, which is a good thing. It means that we can do what we want to do. But if you want to feel a certain way, I normally ask them, okay, well, what does it take for you to feel good? And it's sort of like, well, I feel really good when I follow my protocols, when I trust myself. Because when they fall off of that, and then they like, for me, you know, if you tell somebody, hey, I'm going to do XYZ for you, and then they don't do that, how much trust have you lost in that person?
Yep.
How annoyed are you with that person? Now, imagine doing that to yourself with the self-talk that you already have with yourself. So yourself feel good isn't losing 20 pounds, it's keeping confidence in yourself and building that trust in yourself and being like, hell yeah, I did the dang thing. I did most of the stuff that I was supposed to do that makes me feel good. Yeah. And it's so cool. One of the wins that I had 2 weeks ago or something, it was like, man, Liz, like I don't talk bad about myself anymore because one, I do most of the shit that I need to do so I feel freaking awesome. And two, like I'm telling everybody about the way I feel and how awesome I feel. And then her goal no longer was, oh, I need to drop sizes. And it just kind of happened. Her scale stayed the same. She's now smaller than she was at the like last year when she got married. And like scale the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Scale does not have to change for you to change your body, you guys. And I think that was a really big conversation. I know who you're talking about because I talked with this person too. And it's like, she just feels good because she's doing what she's supposed to do. She knows a year ago, prepping for her wedding and stuff, she was working harder towards like being a certain way, being a certain physique, whatever. She had the time for it. She had a totally different lifestyle at that point. She had an active job. She had extra time, a more flexible schedule. Her life circumstances changed. And guess what? Her commitment to herself changed as well. And so now it's all about, okay, what do those commitments look like now? Because they can't look like they did a year ago because you're not the same person you were a year ago. So what do those commitments need to look like now for you to show up for yourself every day and for you to feel good about that as being a win and being enough? Because even like I had a conversation yesterday with one of the women who finished our 90-day program. and is now coming on with one-on-one coaching. And she was like, I just feel happier. Like she's lost over 20 pounds. She's done amazing. And she's like, I just feel like happy. I feel good in my skin. Da, 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 da. And I was like, that's so key though, because you feel happy because you followed through with what you said you were going to do. It's not that you're telling me you were so unhappy before you started this. You loved yourself. You weren't treating yourself like you love yourself, but you loved yourself. You were still a happy person. You just get to be happier now because you got to see what it looks like to actually put in the work that elicits the result that you wanted physically. And physically isn't just how she looks. Yes, she looks great because she lost some weight, but she, has reduced her blood, like bad cholesterol. She has better blood pressure. She, is able to go out to eat and stuff, and it's not a big deal. She's able to travel and go on trips and understand like what she needs to do to just take care of herself and feel good. And so it's very important because a lot of people think, well, I'll be happy when I lose the weight. I'll love myself when I lose the weight. And I can 100% guarantee if you do not love yourself now, then you're not going to want to do the things that show you love yourself, like nourishing your body with good food, having good movement. You're not going to be able to do those things. And so you're not going to all of a sudden love yourself when you lose 20 pounds. Like somebody who goes and gets gastric bypass surgery, they lose 50 pounds. Do they all of a sudden love themselves because they lost 50 pounds? Probably not. They probably got a lot more stuff to do up here and in here and in here to find that love, because we know the quick fix doesn't take that level of effort that you deserve to put towards yourself.
Right. So it's so, we're here to compare and contrast like coaching experiences and stuff like that. And it's crazy because like the wins that I point out, like these aren't sexy wins. Like having a month straight of having rock star sleep and not feeling like, having the stress cravings at the middle of the night, like those aren't sexy. People don't want, you can't physically see that in somebody. But that person, that autonomous person that is writing down that goal, that was like, man, I didn't even think this would have been a goal of mine. But with coaching with you guys, it's now amazing. I can do all of the things. I want to do all of the things. Like I'm loving life. I'm finding balance. I hate that word balance, but being able to not being so absorbed in only work and feeling so frustrated with your partner or your kids and, overly stressed about what you're going to eat and when you're going to eat and all of that stuff. So like a lot of our wins aren't sexy. A lot of the way that we coach is not sexy. And what I feel like a lot of people fall into is like the coaching experiences that Revolt have had that we literally just talked about the other day. And it's sad because it's so like, one, not autonomous. Two, people are miserable. Three, they do see those sexy results of like, hell yeah, 2 weeks, I lost 5 pounds, like send it, versus like, okay, I honestly think that my clients average, like when I do put them in a fat loss phase, like 0.2 to like 0.8 pounds a week of fat loss, which like, in all honesty, if I compared and contrasted the two, like what's sexy and like what people will automatically pick for will be that one, like, oh, do I want to lose 1.5 pounds in 2 weeks or do I want to lose 5 pounds in 2 weeks? But the way that I do it, one, you're going to keep it off forever. Two, you're going to eat the food that you want. Three, you're going to have rock star sleep. You're going to enjoy life. You're going to be able to travel, do all the things, versus the other way, which I mean, I still like, I pulled out my old meal plan that like one of my very first coaches gave me. And it's literally, let's see, I had 2 days of different kinds of eating, and I had to eat 6 to 7 meals a day. And it was, okay, meal 1, scoop of protein and 1/4 cup of oats with water. Meal 2, which was my post-workout, 4 ounces of chicken, 3 ounces of sweet potato, and some veggies. And then it was like meat and veggies, lean protein and veggies. And then get this, 4 egg whites, okay, and 3 ounces of asparagus. No oil.
Delicious.
Like, there's no.
Yeah.
Okay, like what I'm eating today, like I'm eating the meals that I love eating. You know, I have a walking tacos that I'm doing, and I'm doing literally your egg bites with asparagus every single day because they're freaking delicious. I did like fat-free or sugar-free Cool Whip with protein powder in it, and I'm stuffing them inside strawberries.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
also have that. That's freaking delicious because I'm not bougie and have a Ninja Creamer yet. Yes, I am literally signed up for it. But like, that's not a tacos, and that's not shit that I want to eat.
Right. Right. I think that's so huge. So yes, we did want to come on here today because we got into a conversation the other day. We're like, oh my God, if our clients had a clue what our coaching experiences look like with our one-on-one coaches versus what they get, like it would be mind blowing. And the thing is, we're going to sit here and describe it a little bit, and you're still just not going to have a clue. Like I think that most people come to one-on-one coaching and they don't know what to expect. Here's the thing. If you sign up with us and you work with us in a one-on-one capacity, and then you go work with somebody else, it is quite possible that you will be blown away by like the lack of service that you get that feels one-on-one. So, Liz just talked about a meal plan she had. It's like, you have to eat this and this and this. Was this person a registered dietitian by chance?
Absolutely not, which is completely illegal, by the way. People are not allowed. So I'll have people that will ask me like, hey, can you write me a meal plan? And I will walk them through what they like eating.
Yes.
I will never tell you how many ounces of anything to do because one, that's out of my scope of practice right now. Until I become a licensed registered dietitian, I legally can't, nobody can legally do that. So all those fun people that are like, oh, hey, $40 meal plan. No, literally go to a website called Eat This Much, and they'll give you example ones.
Yep.
And great, because I love that website because they follow like a 5-ingredient rule, like everything's super simple. It's 5 ingredients or less. You're not trying to do anything crazy, but I honestly just walk my clients through what they enjoy eating right now. And okay, what are some substitutes that we can do to make this a little bit of your life so that one, most of the people that I work with, most of them have spouses that they're also feeding as well. And so it's not conducive to make their complete separate meal on top of everybody else's meal. That's no way. No. And then what I had before was, cool, here's your meal plan. I'll talk to you in 12 weeks.
Yep.
And talking to them, literally me sending them a sheet and then them just emailing me back and saying, okay, thanks, here's your updated meal plan. Literally the same thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. So write that down. Even if you are one of our one-on-one clients and you've been struggling with like putting together some meals and stuff, eat this much. Go there, go check it out, because we can't tell you what to eat. And that is something that Liz is trying to do with her clients, just walk them through like, hey, what do you enjoy eating? Cool. Let's keep eating that, but let's make that meal better by adding this and that. Or, I even had a conversation with a client yesterday where I'm like, I can have Oreos in my house. I literally have like 15 different flavors of Oreos in my house right now for an experiment I'm doing. And because they were already there, but then I had to buy 2 more flavors that I needed. But with it, it's like I can have those things because I'm literally having an Oreo every single day. Right. So there's no scarcity. There's no, what if this food doesn't exist tomorrow, which I think people like go through. They're like, well, what if I can never have an Oreo tomorrow? Or I'm telling myself I can't have Oreos tomorrow because I'm starting my diet. Like I literally am forcing myself right now to have an Oreo every single day. Just like when I was eating 2,400 calories on my reverse diet with my coach, I was eating ice cream every day. And guess what? The ice cream lost its luster. It got really old to have to like force feed myself ice cream every day. But when you start to like tell yourself things are off limits, or somebody tells you you can only eat XYZ, what do you want? You want A, B, and C, because XYZ, nope, that's restrictive. You're right. It is restrictive. So we will never tell you, you cannot eat this, that, whatever. What we do is oftentimes I'll go through someone's food logs and I'm like, dude, you're wasting like 100 calories on cheese and you're telling me you're hungry. Like, why don't we sub that out with a Laughing Cow cheese wedge for 30 calories? And then I want you to eat some actual like fucking eggs or meat or something to give yourself some actual food volume. Because think about that, you guys. The food volume makes a difference. I could literally give you 2 Oreo cookies for 140 calories. You know what that looks like. Now I can give you like 5 ounces, 4 to 5 ounces of chicken thighs with some delicious seasoning. That is, again, going to be 140 calories. It's going to be about the size of my palm, maybe a little bit more. And which one do you think is going to keep you fuller for longer? Which one do you think is going to be more satisfying? Which one do you tell me you can't eat? Oh, I can't eat that much. Yes, you can, because you can eat 140 calories of Oreos. So why the hell can't you eat 140 calories of chicken? You can. You just haven't done it before. So let's freaking do it. So yeah, we can't do the meal plans, you guys. It's just not a thing. And then like, let's get into some of the other stuff with coaching. So I know for me, the first coach I signed up with, again, he was for 12 weeks. And what it looked like is he gave me, like, I told him what my activity level was, the things I was doing, whatever. I'm sure homeboy just went onto like an online calculator or something somewhere, plugged in my stats and gave me my numbers. So I had a spreadsheet. And every day I would record, what my calories were for the day, my total, and all of my macros. So protein, fat, and carbs. I don't even know if we tracked fiber, quite honestly. We weren't tracking steps. He was just telling me to do X amount of cardio per week. He wasn't writing my workouts or anything. I was just doing my own training as usual, which was fine because I only hired him for nutrition. Like, I'm very confident with the strength training programs that I've done, so didn't really need him for that. But the check-in was me filling out an email every, I think, Friday night. And then I would email that along with my progress pictures on Saturday mornings. And then I would get a voice memo back from him sometime later on in the week, like just sometime throughout the week, whatever. And it's like, cool. So I checked in Saturday, and maybe by Tuesday, I got like a 4-minute voice memo back from him giving me feedback. So it's like, if I needed to change anything or whatever, okay, well, it was only a few days away from my next check-in. Like, that was kind of pointless. And so I was always on time giving what he asked from me and whatever. And then it was very much a whenever he could like fit it into his schedule type of thing to send me back a 4-minute voice memo. Did you have an experience like that with a coach? You talked about 12 weeks later kind of thing, but.
And I think one of the coaches that I had that was like more on time with her stuff, but I mean, she would slash my calories, and like there was like really no direct. It was like, okay, cool. Like every week it was 200 calories less. Okay, well, how many freaking, like, how low of calories am I gonna go? And
Right.
Cardio. I'm sorry, I'm not a bodybuilder by any means. I'm not gonna do 2 hours of cardio on top of 6 days of lifting. That's not conducive to my life. And at the time, I was working 2 jobs. I worked at a hospital and I was doing eyelashes. And I'm there, what? Absolutely not. But it was like, okay, cool. Then you're not going to get results then. And I was like, okay, so I eat 900 calories. Like, girl, I get it. I'm fat, but like, what? Like, I can't do that. It was so nothing about any of my past coaching except for like probably my current coach that I have now. Ever took into account my lifestyle and what worked for me, my schedule, how much time I had to work out, how much like stress I had in my life or anything like that. Everything was just very cookie cutter, and you can tell by the way that they like, build things out. Like, okay, cool. I'm allergic to XYZ. Why are you telling me to eat this?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. Sometimes people, they'll be like asking for protein tips or something. And they're like, well, I can't have dairy. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. I forgot. Like, I was just randomly spitting off things, right? It's not like I'm just giving dairy options, but I'm like, this is just me freeballing things. Like, you know what you can and can't have, but I know I gave you options that you can have there. It's just that these are the things that just spew from my mouth.
So that's totally different than like, okay, like I read off before, like my meal plan thing. Like, I'm definitely allergic to nuts, and like half the shit on like for day 2 was like, oh, if you're hungry, you can have 15 almonds and this. And I'm like, okay, well, actually, I can't. I'm
I will die.
oh, stop. And mind you, I was paying $600 a month for that.
Oof.
For I didn't get any voice memos. I didn't get any like feedback on my list or anything. When I did that, I was brand new to lifting and all that other stuff too. So I had no freaking idea. Like, am I lifting right? Am I doing this right? Look at the queen over there. I adore her.
She's so needy. She's so needy.
I
Yes, yes. Well, so I mean, that's the thing is like just the coach interaction itself was like pretty much non-existent, right? It's you send an email, they send you back a voice memo, or they send you back an email, whatever. Then my second coach, the one that I was with 2.5 years, you know, I signed up with her, significantly larger investment, like hundreds of dollars a month compared to the first guy who was like hundreds of dollars for a few months. And with her, again, spreadsheets. I had to input the data. Also, food logs. She didn't have access to my MyFitnessPal. She never asked for that. Like she could have easily. Guess what I had to do to track my food for my coach? I had to type it out every single day in a PDF document that I then attached to the email that I sent her with my check-in every week. So it was literally Monday, this many grams of oatmeal, this many grams of egg whites, this many grams of berries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, like everything. I had to type all of this out, you guys, and then give her the breakdown of what the calories, the macros were for every single meal for the entire week. For our clients, we just get access to their MyFitnessPal. How effing easy is that? Like, just make sure we're friends on MyFitnessPal. Just make sure your diary is public because it links up with the app that we use where we can just go in there. We don't even usually have to go into MyFitnessPal unless there's some sort of a thing going on. We can just go into the app we use with our clients, pull up their food logs, see, oh, okay, this is what she had for breakfast. This is what she had for lunch. Awesome. It's, oh, here's what her protein goal is. She was within 10% of that. Same for her calories. Like we can go and see all of those things without asking them to go the extra mile to literally type out every last thing that you're eating. Not only, again, was I logging it in MyFitnessPal, but I then had to type it out for her. I then had to download it and attach it in an email to her. I then had to copy and paste my check-in form every single week and just fill in new answers and paste it into the body of an email every week. I had to put my pictures side by side in a separate app that I used every week and attach it to the email. There were so many steps to checking in. For our clients, here's what you got to do. You go to this website, you fill out your 20 questions or whatever, and it automatically gets delivered to my inbox if you're with me or Liz's inbox if you're with her. Then we log into our app, we go check out your profile, see what you were doing for your workouts, see what you did for your nutrition. Like we take out all the extra steps for you guys because we know you got stuff going on. You got families, you got careers, you got social lives. We know we don't want to see you having to go through all these spreadsheets and putting pictures together and doing XYZ. So when people complain to me, not, oh my God, I just didn't have time to do my check-in or your check-in is late. No, it literally took me over an hour to put together my check-in every single week because of all those extra steps. So guess what we saw when I was putting together this program for CCNC, I wanted to make it as low barrier as possible to like get in a check-in so I can do my job. My job is to give you feedback. So we try to make it as easy as possible so you can do the other stuff you've got going on in life. So that's just check-ins. Then when it comes to just education, if I wanted to receive any sort of education from my coach, guess where I had to go? Her Instagram account. That's the only way I was going to learn anything that she wanted to talk about. Guess what we do? We have Instagram accounts. We have this Facebook group where we provide free education and valuable content. And for our one-on-one clients, they have an entire client resource library where we record every training. We record every open office call. We have PDF guides. We have links to websites. We have links to recipes. We have everything you could ever need so that you don't have to just go to Google. You can go into our client resource library, which you have access to for forever. Once you've been a one-on-one client and you've fulfilled your time with us, you get to go see those things whenever you need to, whenever something comes up, because we know that there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet to sift through. So why not just put it all in one centralized location that's super valuable for you? So again, I just had to go like Instagram. Let me see if I can find something she has to say about protein. No, like you could just go into our client resource library and go under nutrition.
Even that, that's why I became a coach. Is that like I didn't get any education. It was cool. Do XYZ. Okay, but why? but why? Like, what is the importance of this? Like, I had one client that was like, I just don't see the importance of protein.
Yeah.
And like, why the hell am I tracking protein? Why do I care about getting in protein? Why do I care about balanced meals? And I didn't know any of that like before. And now, like with my clients now, like, cool, now I can teach you all these things and the why behind it, and not just because the internet says so, because Google says so, because the people that are genetically blessed say so, because of XYZ. Like there's a reason that I've gone through so much school and I'm currently still in school for it. Like I had to pay for an education. You had to pay for your education and stuff. And for us to like bring value to these people, to everyone, really, like.
Yeah, definitely. And so not only are we like trying to educate you, and that's one of the things that we can work on in our once a week check-ins with people as well, is like, we literally ask, like, what else can I support you with? What else do you need to know about? And so if you're not putting that in there, then how do we know to teach you about protein? If like we just assume if you're not asking about it, that you don't have a question about it, right? So you got to ask questions, but also oftentimes we're able to give you a little breakdown, and then we're like, hey, also make sure you go check out this thing in the client resource library that can give you even more if you want to learn more, right? If you don't want to just hear what I had to say here in a couple of minutes, that's why we have those things there. But then we know it's hard for people to just actually get themselves to go do the thing, right? There is no lack of information available, you guys. Like there isn't. We all have resources we could all learn the best diet for ourselves by doing tons and tons of resource. But until you put it into action, it means nothing, right? So one of the other great things about our coaching and what we provide is one-on-one coaching calls with our clients when they need to. And we also have twice a month group calls with our entire team. Like everybody's invited. I send out a survey. So I just sent out a survey on Monday. I'm like, cool, vote on these days. There were different time slots for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. The majority rules. So the majority voted for Monday night. So guess what? Everybody in our one-on-one community is invited to this call on Monday night at whatever time slot. And on that survey, it's what do you want to discuss? What are you curious about? What are the things? So that we can already go into that conversation knowing, okay, so-and-so's got a question about this. So maybe I'll look into it a little bit beforehand if I don't feel super prepared for it. Usually they are things that Liz and I can just kind of spitfire, right? Like we can pretty much answer them because they are pretty easy for us because of what we've been doing for so long. But like, you just have that space to go and ask those questions and to be surrounded by people that are having similar struggles and stuff. With my one-on-one coaches, neither of them. There was no community, right? They could talk about their community all day long, like, yeah, blah, 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 community. And it's like, what? I don't even know a single other person that you coach. I've never even been given the opportunity to know who the hell they were. With my one-on-one coach, I met her in real life at an event over a year after we started working together because I went to the event and because she was friends with the people who were putting it on. Otherwise, I never would have met her in real life. She didn't even start following me on social media to make me feel like maybe she was interested in who I was as a person until like that event, right? Like didn't care who the hell I was. Then I proceeded to work with her for another year and a half. So we were together for 2.5 years. I still don't have her phone number. As far as I know, she still doesn't have mine. We didn't get on Zooms together until after I fired her as my coach. And I only fired her because like I just didn't need it anymore. I was like, you're helping me more in like a business capacity than you are nutrition coaching right now. Like I've got this. I can do it on my own. I trust myself. So only after we broke up, went our separate ways, did we finally get on Zooms. We were doing Zooms together like once a month so she could help me out with some business stuff. But I'm like, my clients see my face all the time. I see my clients' faces all the time, or I'm calling them all the time. Like I've literally spoken to half a dozen of our clients this week alone, and I've only been in the office one day. So like, what is going on? Like, again, we have relationships with our clients and we only take on so many. I was just with a bunch of coaching friends this past weekend, and one of my girls, she's awesome. Her team is blowing up. She's got a great community of coaches and stuff that she's adding to her team. But guess what? She wants her coaches taking on 75 clients a piece. just think back to when you were in elementary school, you guys. Were you in a classroom with 75 students? No, because the teacher can only give so much attention to so many students. I know when I was a teacher, an elementary school teacher, we maxed out at 30 students for a teacher. We're pretty similar when it comes to coaching. We make sure we're not taking on more people than we can manage. I don't ever want to get lost in the weeds and be like, who's that person? Who is she talking about? No, we know who the F our clients are because we are very much into being personalized, individualized coaching. You're not just a number on a roster, a name on a roster. We want to know you. Thoughts on that?
I think that's probably one of my favorite things about us. Like, I worked for another nutrition company before. I've tried my own, and like, just did not have the community that we have. And when I did work for another company, it was like, okay, cool. Like, I want you to max. I think it was, I had 95 clients. 95. And like, I even told you before, I'm like, maybe 45 max.
Yeah.
But I know close to everything about my client's life. And I have conversations with them. I talk to them outside of coaching as well, and like connect with them on that level. And they know my life as well. And so it's so much more than just, cool, here's some numbers. See you next week.
And not even see you next week, right? Because they didn't see their clients. You weren't seeing your clients.
Exactly. And it's not, and like my check-ins with my clients are very much a conversation. This is me and you going back and forth and talking about what's going to work this week, what's going to work in a few days, what is challenging this week, what is amazing this week. And like, even us having like WhatsApp and stuff like that, and like people, literally my favorite thing ever lately is people will voice memo me while they're at the gym. They're like, Liz, I just hit a PR. Like, what? And I'm all, yes. Like, voice memos, I love them.
Yes.
Or like people getting video messages back from them, or the fact that like we can just hop on a quick call and just make sure everything's good, and like celebrate wins, walk through troubles, anything like that. And I've never had that before. I've never been able to do that before having this community and what I do now with Carbs and Consistency. So I freaking love it.
I love it, you guys. And that's the thing is like, so for those of you that don't know, I think most of you do know, like I worked at Orange Theory. And one of the reasons that I had to ultimately leave Orange Theory was because they were not in alignment. Their actions were not in alignment with like their goals. They said their goals were to like be all about the community and do this and that and whatever. And I was like, well, I feel like I'm the only one who's trying to like make this a community anymore. Like I'm constantly like wanting to put events on the calendar for us to do stuff with people, or I want to do this for the members. Like we would have members' birthdays and stuff, or members would hit their like 500th class or like a big milestone or something. And guess what? Out of my own pocket, I was the person going to the store to buy the balloons to celebrate for that person. I was the person going just on my day off and being like, hey, I'm going to go for a dog walk with the community. I clearly cared more about community than the people that owned the facility or the people that were in charge of like making things better. And so when that didn't work for me anymore, when I was like, cool, I need to be a part of a community. I need to feel like I'm actually engaging with these people outside of just this 1 hour workout. I chose to make my own community, and I'm pretty fucking stoked about it, right? I mean, at Orange Theory, I remember one of the big goals was having 800 members at the studio. COVID hit and everything. We dropped down to like 400 members or something. And the goal was always just keep building and building and building. And I'm like, how about we take care of the members we do have? Right? Like we now have the opportunity. We've cut that membership base in half. How do we pour into the people that we do have so that maybe they want to bring more people in, right? Instead of just like, oh, how do we like go solicit another business to like put our business out there? No, take care of your people, build a community, and the other people will come. And so that's what we try to do here. I know that not everybody can work with us one-on-one. That's why we try to come up with other strategies. Like, we've got our 90-day program. I'm building out a 30 days of free coaching program right now. And we've got this Facebook group. Like, we want you guys to get what you can from us if one-on-one isn't in the cards for you right now. So if you're in here and you're in this group, like, welcome to the community. Thanks for being here. And I hope that you enjoy it and it makes you potentially want to be a bigger part of our community at some other point. So yeah, it's kind of what I got for today. Feel good about that, Liz?
Of course. I love this space.
We love it. We love it. So thanks for listening to us ramble, you guys. Like I said, we're just kind of popping on here. We'll try to do our like Thursdays at 11 Mountain Time when we can, when it fits our schedule and stuff. But to be quite honest, our number one priority is pouring into our one-on-one clients. They're our priority, and we know they appreciate our time a ton. If you guys appreciate our time and you appreciate what we're posting and stuff in here, give it a like, give it a comment, share it, invite your friends, invite your families to the group. Like, it's open to men and women totally. We want to expand with people, but if we feel like people don't care, then it makes us kind of care less about this space, which is kind of shitty to say, but it just is true, right? If we're not getting any feedback that we're actually helping you, then we feel like we're not helping you. So why would we do it when all we want to do is help people? So anyways, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. I hope that you're feeling really good. And I hope that you're not waiting until Monday, even if you had a shitty weekend of like not making the best choices, even if you were indulging for the holiday. I hope you're not waiting till Monday. Like, literally, you can just start now. So have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.